Okay, so I am back again, and hopefully this time landscape. So let me know when you guys are back, and I will continue. Hello? Keeps on saying poor connection to me, so I think I don't have the greatest connection here, which I do apologise for, guys. Ah, good job, Traken. Hoping that's how you say your name. I can actually acknowledge the first comments pretty quickly now. So how you guys doing? Can you see me better now? Okay, so hopefully I'm not too stuttery now and this goes a little bit better. So what I said in the first one is that I have some bugs that are popping in here and they are eating through everything. So I'll show you guys again quickly. You can see that they are chewing through everything that I've got. So this is watercress and these little guys are going nuts and they're absolutely everywhere, which is kind of annoying. So what I've got is this stuff, which is dipole. It's a bacterial stuff that works really, really well to kill any sort of bugs, but completely harmless to people, fish, and all those sort of fun things. So I've got some in a little spray water bottle here, and do you want me to stare at the camera? I can do that. And basically I'm going to spray these guys and give them a very, very bad time. So they're not going to like me, and if anybody is squeamish about seeing bugs dying and not very happy death, then you might want to look away now. But if you're mildly curious about the sort of stuff like I am, then you may want to stay looking. So you can see some of these guys. If I get in there, see a little one of them there, and they hide in this sort of stuff really, really easily, which isn't that bad. But see, this thing really doesn't want to pressurize. Let me make sure I turn it tighten it enough. Okay, we are spraying now, so you're back with me again. And I'm going to give these guys a bit of a spray. And basically this stuff works really, really well. It goes on them, and you can see these guys, after they get sprayed a little bit, start doing a very unhappy little headbang. And then they basically die. And like I say, it's probably a very quick episode because I didn't really have that much I wanted to talk to, but I thought I might bring you guys along, say hey, and if anybody's got any questions they want to throw at me or want to have a chat about anything, then I've got a live stream so I can stare crazily at the camera and talk to you guys direct. And I apologise again for the shaky cam because it's kind of shaky. So does any of you guys have any questions you want to throw at me? Anything you want to know? Anything you want to talk about? Or anybody at all. Unless I've lost everybody here, because I've got no idea how many people are actually watching this, because it doesn't actually tell me, which is kind of weird. First one, oh wait, no, 6 people. So 6 people watching me. Haha, I can see you now. So how is everybody going today? Is that good? Good to know. Okay, could I do surgery on a fish again? I might take you to say hello to the fish, that might be the best way to do it, but it's kind of weird to do surgery on fish if none of them actually need it. So if I get one that will need it again, then probably, but otherwise they don't really need that much effort. So these are my little fishies at the moment. And you can see they're all doing quite well, they're all quite happy and swimming around, and I hope you guys can see. And I've got some really big fatties in there, and some that are just going really, really well, but unless I actually need it, I'm not going to do it again. Because it is kind of mean just doing it for views on the internet. So hopefully I shouldn't need to do it too much. But the whole thing is just working really well. All my tomatoes are starting to die off a little bit for the season because it's getting a little bit too cold, and I've started a whole lot of sweet potatoes and those sort of some things, and snow peas and those sort of things. But generally it's all growing really, really well, and it's all going quite well. So does anybody else have any other questions they want to throw at me? Anybody at all? Very bad connection. Ooh, fish fun time. I think you mean the sexy time. But, so I am going to try another breeding experiment when it cools down a little bit, or when it warms up a little bit, and they get into the mood a little bit more. So, this year I'm going to do the same sort of green water breeding technique that I did last year, because it worked quite well. And basically what I'm going to do is get a whole lot of IBCs, put them in the backyard, and then I can segregate the different sorts of fish. I can put shade cloth or something over the top of it quite well that stops all of the dragonfly larvae coming into it again, which was quite annoying last time. And I'll be able to grow a couple of different sorts of species at the same time. So hopefully that'll work quite well, and we'll basically see how it goes. But like I say, it's an experiment, so I'm not quite sure how well it will go. Hopefully it will do well, but I guess we'll just find out together. Hey Warren, how's it going? It's kind of weird. I want faces to look at because I can only look at little avatars. But does anybody else have any other questions they want to know anything about? My bugs over here they've gone very, very quiet and very, very still. So basically these guys here aren't too happy. So hopefully oh, hold on, where are you guys? There we go. These guys here aren't particularly happy. They're still crawling around. It will take them a couple of days before they'll die and fall off. So hopefully it won't take too long. Hold on, there was a question there and I lost it. And you guys are seeing my fingers. I'm really expert at this, as you can tell. There we go. Okay, hey Tim, so you got an apartment and a koi pond and you want to know basically the size you can do for that. First thing that I would do is check how much weight the balcony itself can actually handle, because you don't want to put a full-size IBC or something on there and have the whole thing basically crash below you. So I'll check that sort of stuff, but 10 foot by 10 foot would be a perfect size space for a koi pond, as long as it will fit on there and it won't crash through the ground and that sort of stuff. And hey Lily, the time here is probably about 11:30 at the moment. I started this a little bit late, so nice time of the day. I've got some fun jobs in the shed planned a little bit later today, but thought I might come out and say hello to you guys first. And I'm really curious about this one, because the quality on my phone looks perfect at the moment, but I'm guessing when you guys are looking at it, it looks absolutely terrible. So I'll find out when I go back and have a look at this video a little bit later. But any other questions from you guys before I'll sign off, because otherwise I'm going to be doing creepy stare at the camera for a while, and nobody wants to look at that. Anybody at all? Yeah, I didn't think it was Lily. But I really have crap internet at home, which is why I've been avoiding this one. But I thought if I went on the cellular network, then it might go a little bit better, but it's probably quite horrible, and I do apologise for that. Well, does anybody have any ideas for videos that they want to see me make? Okay, Tim, sort of pool that you would use, have a look for an IBC. That's probably the easiest ones. Hey, Rob. I'm getting the creepy stare going down quite well, I think. Yeah, so if you want an IBC tank, then it's probably one of the easiest ways to be able to get it up there, and you should be able to do it easily enough. But it depends on your room, it depends on how much space you got. So you guys want to look at the fish again? I can go back to fish, so quite easily. I have bed hair, I admit it. My wife said the same thing to me this morning. She cut it, she looked at it and she was like, you really need a haircut. And I can't disagree with it too much, because I probably do. Show you guys. And it said poor connection. No for future vids. That means you don't want any, or other guys. So this is my little sump tank in here as well. You can see some of the fish. Hopefully it's not too glary. I can't really tell too well myself. And say hello to the pooch. Where are you? Poochie saying hello. You guys get to see dog grumps. This is really one of my most entertaining videos I could imagine. But I have Puppy down here. He doesn't want to be on camera too much. Say hey. And it's saying poor connection to me again. You guys want to say hello to the chickens? I'll introduce you guys to Rapunzel. So Rapunzel is one of my really, really weird chickens. She has a problem that she's kind of afraid of heights, and she doesn't like getting off her perch. So this here is Rapunzel. So Rapunzel is afraid of heights, and she doesn't like jumping off the little perch here. So she'll climb up here every single night, and she just won't climb off, which is kind of silly. I was going to make up a little chicken whacker or something to knock her off every single night, but it felt kind of weird. But this is generally what I have to do every single day to get her off. So I have a little thing, and then I will give her a knock, and she goes flying down to the bottom. Which she probably doesn't like too much. But otherwise she just stays up there every single day, which is kind of annoying. Okay, I've got more questions. Yeah, so fish breeding I found to be really quite easily. Like, depends on how you want to do it. There are trickier ways to do it. You can set it all up so you have to feed them every couple of hours, but I really do like the way that I'm doing it and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it works quite well. So the dapine, I don't like to do things the traditional way a lot of the times. I like to make things really, really easy. And the silly thing about that chicken, she has a ramp. She has a ramp that she climbs up there every single night. You guys can see there. You guys can see a little ramp. I welded it up for her, and they can climb up it very, very happily. The rest of them climb down it. There's like 5 or 6 that sit up on that perch every single night, but she is a twit for whatever reason. And I've got some more of them in here. There's another one. She's one of my egg layers. And some more of them there. The coop needs a little bit of a clean out because it's getting a little bit grubby, but it's going alright. Let's keep on producing eggs and they eat everything that I give to them. So, do you guys want to hear more about the garden stuff, or do you want to see some of the projects that I've got coming along? Well, until I get bored of this, basically. So you got me then here, so do you have any questions? I had a question from Trayton. I have shot a gun, went to a shooting range thingy and I've shot one. I used to live out at a farm, so you'd go out with friends every now and again and shoot some guns and that sort of stuff, but I don't do it particularly often. There's not much room for it in Australia and you don't really need to be you don't really do it that much here. I don't really see the point. But some people enjoy it, so that sort of stuff. So time management. I'm not great at time management. Okay, projects. I'm going to take you guys into my shed and I'm going to try and show you... You get fingers. And turn my light on. So this one here is a little one that I have been working on for the last few weeks and hopefully it should be ready soon. But where are we? So this is one of the... I lost you guys. Hope it wasn't too traumatic. So I think the shed has a little bit too much metal around it and you guys can't see properly. So time management and basically life of me in a weekend. I did start one of those videos, to be honest. I was up on the roof and I was putting through some cabling that I have on the roof. I was doing a network table throughout the house and I started doing it and I was just rattling on, and then I started making the video and it just seemed boring as all hell. So I try and avoid putting boring as all hell videos on there for you, because otherwise if I get bored making them, I don't really want to put them out for you guys to watch, because otherwise it's just taking time for you guys to do it and watch them, and I don't want you guys to get bored. And there's a question there from Tim as well. What do you like to breed? So I haven't done any other sort of fish apart from goldfish, really, because I don't really want to breed any. The goldfish are more for the plants, to be perfectly honest. I like breeding them and I want to be able to sell some of them, but just basically any sort I wouldn't really want to. I like my goldfish. There's so many different varieties and you get so many different shapes and odd colours, and some of they've all got different characters, and some like coming to the top, some don't, and they're just fun to play around with and watch and that sort of stuff. So I'll stick with goldfish, but no chances for any lizards or turtles or anything in the system. So, but yeah, it's all going quite well. But yeah, I did have planned for a video for just following me around and doing what I do on a normal day-to-day basis, but it just got kind of boring and didn't want to subject you guys to that sort of stuff. But on aquaculture stuff, I don't really do that much sort of aquaculture stuff, so I don't really feel knowledgeable enough to be able to give out a perfectly good video on what works, that sort of stuff. Why not edible ones? Basically, for edible ones, I don't like the taste of freshwater fish. They just taste kind of crap. It's just personal preference. Some people love them, some people don't, but when you compare it to a nice saltwater fish, the saltwater fish just tastes so much better than any other sorts. So I haven't really bothered, to be honest. So I like the goldfish. They're also a hell of a lot hardier. Trout or something will die when it gets to about 27 degrees, and silver perch, they take forever to grow up, and they're just kind of boring fish. They look kind of plain. I know some people like them and some people do quite well for them, but each to their own. So the chickens, when they get older and stop laying, they're probably going to live a very nice, slow, lazy retirement. Nothing will really happen to them. They'll sit there and they'll grow quite well. until they basically want to die of old age or something bad happens to them. So they're not going to get knocked on the head or anything, they're just going to be there for quite a while. Blackmores are pretty much like any sort of goldfish. So if normal sort of goldfish will grow quite well in your area, your climate, then blackmores will do quite well. I haven't really noticed any difference in the comets and the blackmores and the orandas and the lionhead. They all seem to grow perfectly well inside my system. So they're all quite hardy, they all grow quite well. So just give them a go basically, see how they work and see how well they go there. Okay, what time is it there? It's probably about 11:30ish at the moment, probably a little bit later than that. I can't see my phone since I'm talking to you guys on at the moment, so yeah, it's going quite well. Not nice overcast day, you can see it's quite cloudy outside, and thankfully it's not raining on me, because I was paranoid about being out here and trying to talk to you guys while it was raining. So, anybody else have any questions? Well, there's 7 of you, so we're really popular, 7 people. But any other questions anybody else has? Where's SC? Yeah, my chicken's probably going to live for as long. I've had a couple of bad runs with some of them. We came in a couple months ago and there was a dead one inside of it. I think she was laying an egg and she died from it. I'm not quite sure exactly how, but yeah. South Carolina. Like I say, no idea where that is. I know it's America, but I've got no idea that sort of stuff. But beginner's guide to raising pondfish. I've got a few goldfish keeping videos and that sort of stuff, which are growing quite well. And it's really not that hard. You throw fish in there, make sure the filtration's fine, and that's all there really is to it. And favourite fish at the moment, I don't know if I really have one. Like I say, Dickhead passed away probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, which is kind of sad. So he was my favourite, but he just had some issues and didn't survive that way. But of my favourite fish at the moment, I have one that I like to call the pale auk. I know, Dickhead passed away, it's very sad. But my favourite one, I'll see if I can actually find him on the camera. There's a speckled Jim down there, which is one of my old ones that I've had for a while. I'm not sure how well you guys can see her. I know I called her Jim in the beginning, but she's one of the really fat ones. She's got a nice little coating. She's one of my little favourites down there. And some of the bigger comets that I've had there for a while. And that one down there is Son of Dickhead. So I like to call that one Micropene. That one there is Micropene. Micropene has actually gotten quite big in the time since I got him in there. And like I say, I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, because I'm not sure how well it's reflecting, because I've got to turn the camera away from me when I do it, which is kind of... Wait. I have an idea. Aha! I can turn it around. Okay, so now I can see what you guys are looking at. Where's Micropene? Where is he? There, that down there is Micropene, which you guys can see. So here's one of my little ones, and Son of Dickhead. And growing quite well, growing quite happily. And there's another descendant of Dickhead in there. So I've got a fair few, and here is the one that looks the most like him. So that is one of the favourite ones that I've got in there. And it is going quite well. Pumpkins, I have tried them, but I always got powdery mildew on them, which got quite annoying. I do have some pumpkins here that have just randomly come up, I'm not quite sure why. But it's still going quite well and growing quite well. And favourite sort of food, favourite sort of plant, I like tomatoes. That's probably why I grow so many of them, because it just grows quite well. And yes, you can eat a goldfish. There's no reasons why you can't, to be honest. They're just very bony fish, so they've got a hell of a lot of bones in them, and they're just not the nicest to eat. And I can't really try it myself, but some people do. Melons and pumpkins, I have tried in the system, but they usually get powdery mildew very quickly on me. So I found in the soil they just do a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot quicker. And same with melons, they grow about the same. But since I've been trialing some potassium silicate in the system, hopefully that should be able to go against some of the powdery mildew issues that I have. But it's a bit of an experiment. I've got some peas. I can spin you guys around again. I found buttons, I'm very excited. So these are some of my peas that I've got popping up here, and hopefully they'll do a little bit better this year. They usually get knocked off by powdery mildew before they get too old, but hopefully now they will just keep on going. So some of the other questions, they disappear after they pop up on here, which I do apologise for. Okay, tomatoes, don't grow the greatest in winter. Once it starts getting a bit cold, they'll still keep on growing, but they won't fruit that much, or the fruit will stay very unripe for quite a while. Basically, if it gets too cold for them, tomatoes like a warmer climate. They like to grow in a warmer climate. So once these ones stop producing, then I'm basically going to pull them out, and I'm going to put snow peas in there, I'm going to put broccoli in there, and those sort of fun things. I've got the seeds popping up in there, and I'll show you guys my little seeding bed while I'm out here. I'll show you guys a crazy mint. Mint is the most insane stuff that we've actually had. It just grows like an insane thing. So this is my little seeding bed, and it grows all my little seeds, and I pop them out there every now and again. So I've got some lettuce growing quite happily here. I've got some, I think that's broccoli that I put inside of it there, and I have some very, very small little onions that are starting to pop up. Where are we? Yeah, so I've got some little onions that are starting to pop up, and they're just growing quite well. That's my little very lazy seeding bed option. So I whack them all in there, I wait for them to grow, and then pull them out again. So koi and goldfish together in the same pond, they grow fine. I'm not allowed to have koi in South Australia because it's illegal here, but as far as I can tell, they grow quite well together. You just got to make sure on the sizes of them. If the koi are too big, then they're likely to eat some of the goldfish. If they're big enough, the fish can fit inside of their mouth hole, then they're likely to eat them. But as long as the size differences aren't that great, then it won't matter too much. With the broccoli, it's basically, I haven't had that problem too much. Check potassium levels. If there's too much potassium inside of the system, then it'll shoot up too much and make them go too much. If the nitrates are, I think, too low, then it will make them shoot a hell of a lot quicker. But generally, they just grow quite well. I put them in there, ignore them, and harvest the heads. Hope the bugs don't get to them first. My arm's getting sore now. I did have a tripod set up for this, but it's on my other one. Oh, my neighbours, that side, they love it. That side, they love it. That side, I won't talk about. If that gives you guys any ideas. Growing cilantro, coriander for us. It's basically like any other sort of herb. Throw the seeds in there, let them pop up, and it will grow. It's not that tricky, to be honest. Sorry if you wanted a more complicated answer, but yeah, just chuck them in there. They grow. It grows quite well and goes quite easily. Like I said, I don't eat that much of it myself, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, but it goes quite well. And yes, the bugs are killed off. They were in the start of the video in these plants here. I sprayed some dipole stuff onto them, and they are not particularly happy at the moment. They are doing a very slow death. But hopefully they'll stop eating my plants, because I like to eat them more than they do. Well, I'm sure they like to eat it more than I do, but I care more about me eating them than them eating them. So any other questions? Because if we go quiet in here, I'm going to end this. Not because I don't want to talk to you guys, but because otherwise I'm going to be doing creepy stare towards the camera for a while. And nobody wants to see that. Well, some people might want to see that, but most people I don't think want to see that. I'll show you guys my t-shirt. Super Saiyan one. Had that one designed. I was very proud of it. Lily, talk about what? You gotta give me a topic to talk about, and then I can waffle on for a while, but you gotta give me something. Okay, up and coming videos, that's something I can waffle on about. Up here, the next one of the videos that I've got coming out soon is I want to do some crazy good garden tech. So I've got a few gadgets that are working really, really well and just growing quite nicely. So up here I have myself, hold on, I can turn this around now. So I have a little weather station that is growing, I mean, with techie stuff, I am used to, hold on, that's my pizza oven. With techie stuff, I'm used to some of the stuff, you put it in there and it's a pain in the ass to absolutely set up. But this weather station has been one of the best things I've ever bought. It puts it online and is the most simplest thing that I've ever used. I've also got Wi-Fi powered watering station for the rest of the garden, so the grass, the fruit trees, the garden out the front, and all that works super well and super easily. It works out what your, you tell it what your soil is, the climate that you're in, and it works out how much rainfall you've been having, how much water your grass needs, how much water your passion fruit that I got behind me needs, and that sort of stuff, and it works it all out for me, which is really super easy. So I've got a video on that sort of stuff coming out soon, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, see how I go, plus the renovations I've got coming up on the kitchen, which are taking forever. Critters beside the dog and fish, none really. I got a lot of bugs in the backyard, but I don't think they really count. I saw a snail. We got a few mice that the cat are very happily trying to catch on me. You can see him stalking around my shed sometimes. I think I've got 1 or 2 in there, and he keeps on going in there and just hanging around waiting for something to pop up. Okay, using chemicals on your veggies. To be honest, I don't use any chemicals at all. The closest I've gotten is the dipole stuff that I put on my stuff here. So, depending on what you want to see as a chemical, this one is a bacterial, naturally occurring bacteria. So it depends on what you want to say as chemical. This is probably about as far as I ever really go. Most of the time, if I get aphids or something, then I'll find the ants and then stop the ants that are usually harvesting the aphids that are on the plants themselves. And that is about it. I don't really put any chemicals at all, but more for the reason because I'm lazy than I don't want to use them, because as long as it's fish safe, I'll very happily use it, but I usually let them sort themselves out. If you've got aphids, and a lot of the times you give it a little while and the ladybirds will turn up and they'll start growing and breeding on top of there and just eat all the aphids for me, and I generally don't need to do too much. So I take the lazy gardener approach to most of these sort of things. Sometimes I lose a bit of stuff to them, but most of the time it's fine, easy, and works quite well. So do you have any other questions before I run away on you guys? Oh, it's not weird. It's weird where you are. Perfectly good when it's daytime here. Beautiful weather. Cook one of my fish. Yeah, I've cooked, when I had some trout in there, I cooked those ones. Have a look at some of my older videos. I basically harvested some trout that died on me and cooked them up. So I cooked one of them up in a video. Like I say, I don't love the taste of trout that much, freshwater fish, because it just doesn't do much for me. But some people love it, some people hate it. But whatever works for you guys. Ooh, very bad connection again.